In trading, there are so many different approaches, so many different strategies that you can apply to be successful. But I'm going to tell you the two things that you really need to win in the markets. The only two things that ultimately matter to win. And that is time and price. Now, last week, I actually just went 6-0 with our trade alerts via our private mentorship program in akashx. The people were going absolutely crazy. The results are mind-blowing. We're gonna show some of that in just a bit, but I really wanted to make this video to show you for free on YouTube how you can coordinate time and price to catch amazing moves in the markets without any indicators, without any extra things, just understanding when to pull the trigger. So let's get on these charts and show you how we got it done. All right, so we're gonna jump on these charts and we're gonna look at NAS100. For those that follow me, you know this is basically the one and only thing that I mainly day trade. And we actually caught an incredible move together on the private mentorship program where we were basically in and out of the trade in a matter of 15 minutes, but really the profits were all hit in a matter of 1 minute. And I'm gonna show you what I mean. But on the chart, there's really two things you're looking at, right? The X and Y axis. And those X and Y axis represent time and price. Now, somebody may look at this chart right now and be like, well, but what are you talking about no indicators when you have this little yellow line and this red box and all that stuff? Like, what is that? And I actually, allow my students that are part of the private mentorship to understand what this is, to be able to put it on their charts. But all that these things are doing are measuring time in the markets. These are certain time zones that we're playing off of. And that's a real core part of my strategy when I trade NAS, is understanding how to basically take advantage of timing as well as things like manipulation in the market. So with this trade idea, we were looking at a couple of things to get in. Now, I actually like to play off of breakouts and fakeouts of this red box. That is what I call my Liberty strategy that gets taught in our program. And we're gonna go ahead and mark this up. And essentially, I'm gonna be looking for either price to break up above it and look for buys, or we're gonna be able to look for breakouts to the downside, retests, breaking back down to the downside, etc. So that was the origins of this trade idea from a technical analysis perspective with my strategy. Now, this is where timing came into place. Number one, I only like to trade NAS100 during the New York session. And in the New York session, we're basically going to be pulling the trigger from 9:30 a.m. Eastern all the way up until 5 p.m. Eastern. I typically like to catch the moves closer to the beginning of the session, so we can see 9:30 a.m. We got a very big drop, and that was actually just one of the potential trade ideas for that one day. Now, the second one, and this is the one that we caught together on akashx, we got a retest of this low. That was one confirmation. One thing I really look at as well, which is based off smart money concepts, which is something else I teach as well. We had a lot of imbalance from this big push up, which should be filled at some point. Now, timing came into play here because we have to understand what really influences the NASDAQ market as a whole, right? So if I have an actual whole separate video that a lot of people have been actually wanting to get their hands on, where I talk all about NAS100. You guys can click right up here where I'm gonna be showing you how to understand what NAS is overall. But one big thing to understand is that about 7 companies are the major representation of NAS. So there's 100 companies, but 7 are the majority. And one of those companies which has become, very notorious, very important over the last several years is something called NVIDIA. Okay, real quick, I have a very special announcement. You see, we actually just came out with our Black Friday sale for akashx. So if you've been meaning to get started with the private mentorship, you guys, this is the time to absolutely take advantage. Here, let me show you this. Every single new person that gets started with akashx from now to December 2nd is gonna automatically receive a 50K funded challenge account just for getting started with akashx for only $149. On top of that, if you decide to lock in for the yearly membership, you will receive a 200K challenge account included. So guys, check out the link in the description of this video. Make sure you tap in with akashx to end the year with a bang. And let's get back to the video. So I'm gonna jump over here, and again, this is a little chart that shows what comprises the NASDAQ. And we can see Apple and Nvidia basically fighting for that top spot. They interchange who has the number one spot, but very, very close in percentage. You have Microsoft and Amazon right behind. And then you start seeing the dip off with these other companies, right? So basically these top 7 are the major players here. You have Tesla, you have Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, etc. So Nvidia being number 1, number 2 is going to carry a lot of weight in what happens with NAS. And when it comes to stocks, there's going to be something called earnings, right? Earnings reports that come out, from time to time. And it's going to let people know basically the performance of the company, right? What's been going well, bad on the financials. And we actually had the last earnings come out on this exact day when we were trading, where we were expected to see the reports on the earnings right after market close on 11/20/24. Market close at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if we look at the chart over here, here is right before 4 p.m. This is actually 4 p.m. on the dot, 4:05, 4:10. So this is about 5, 10, 15 minutes right after the market close for NAS and when the Nvidia earnings report is coming out. So we already have our analysis that carries this trade in the first place aside from the earnings. But the earnings are either going to really speed up the process of us being incorrect on this trade or us being really correct about this trade. And so that is how you time price and also timing, right? So if we actually look on akashx, this was the official alert that we sent out for this trade. We see the entry price of 27.15 with a stop loss of 27.65. So 27.15, go ahead and edit this at our 50-point stop loss here, what I usually like to use for our NAS trades. And we'll target a max of really 4-to-1, but I personally really focus on at least getting triple whatever I risk on a setup. So 3-to-1 risk to reward right here. And we're really looking to just play this final hour of the market, right? We don't expect to really hold trades after 5 p.m. Eastern. We want to try to be out of the market by then 100%. And so essentially this is what the setup looked like, right? We have multiple take profit zones for people that like to close a little bit earlier, want to try to swing this. But ultimately, if we can get a 3-to-1, I consider that a very strong win. So again, strategy is lined up. We're still within New York session and the Nvidia reports are dropping right here, right after we called out the trade alert. So everything's in perfect alignment. And this is something that as a trader you want to do is you want to stack confirmations. You want to stack and create something called confluence in your trades so that you're not just taking any okay-ish opportunities, right? Your C plus setups, your B minus setups, right? You want to go for A plus setups. You want to go at least for highly probable, have a lot of things in your favor, a well thought out trade. And so that's exactly what this has, guys. And so basically we jump into the trade, a few minutes pass by, and then this next candle just absolutely obliterates all targets. Over a 3-to-1, and that's why I say this trade, we were in it technically for about 20 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes, but the actual move really took place on this one candle right there. If we actually measure this candle from high to low, we did about 1,800 pips in 1 minute. And that 1 minute was really seconds. I don't have the seconds chart here to really give you an exact time, but basically we were in and out in 60 seconds like Nick Cage. And we're gonna see the community react to this trade as well because the reality is a lot of traders in general, but even in our private mentorship program, they don't have a lot of experience. So they haven't really caught any news trades or any type of crazy volatile trades. And this was an amazing, amazing one to be a part of for sure. So let's actually look at, how people were able to take this exact trade alert, gave you the before, TPs 1 through 4 smashed in seconds, 3-to-1 risk to reward. So let's head over to the Telegram. And this is where we, let everybody know, hey guys, NAS alert is active. Let's see if we stayed undefeated for the week, which we did. We ended up the week 6-0, but this was by far the best trade. And so we see here profits from Jefferson, Jason with TPs, Luke with the oh my gosh, Tiffany with the holy amaze balls, Snipe. Yeah, I mean, I had to let people know, guys, if you didn't set a TP, close, because We do not want to stay in a trade, expecting it to continue to run when you catch that many pips in 1 minute. You just got to pull the trigger out of that. So a lot of people were like, wow, man, like how the heck did we just get in and out of this trade so fast? All right, and so let's continue to see some more results. We got over 3 grand right here, 1827, 232, 323, 858, 2090, 429, etc., etc. I mean, I could just keep going, but it was definitely, one for the books. And again, a lot of people not necessarily understanding like how the heck that happened, or what were you looking at, or how did you know? And guys, again, the what makes trading look magical is when you understand timing. So being aware of things like, what are you even trading? If you don't even know what NAS100 really is, you're already at a disadvantage. You need to fully understand what it is that you're trading, whether it's gold, whether it's a certain currency pair, whether it's oil, or an index like the NASDAQ, right? And so I understand the NASDAQ, right? We understand what comprises it and what matters. So looking at things like the earnings reports for the top 7 companies are something that you do not want to overlook, because they can blindside you or they can help you and you might not even know why it's helping you. So just get really familiar with what you're trading, understanding that, right? Being prepared. So not just looking at Forex Factory for general financial news for like the US dollar, for example. We want to pay attention to all of these earnings and all the news that is surrounding these top 7 companies as factors for our trades on the fundamental aspect of things. And when you can align the fundamentals with the technicals, a very powerful strategy like my Liberty strategy, you just have the perfect storm. And I think that's a big reason why we were able to win, not just this week, but all year long. And heading into 2025, I think people will just more and more catch on to Liberty and what we got going on here. So with that said, I hope this video really helped you click the importance of price and time, and maybe shed some paradigms that you need indicators or that you need a bunch of other stuff to be successful. If you like using indicators, if you have your own formula and it works for you, keep doing what works, right? But for me, this is a very simple approach to trading, and it creates a lot of consistency and it will give you a lot of confidence to continue to pull the trigger on those setups. So with that said, guys, appreciate you for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss any future videos. Make sure we get this channel out there. We're closing in on 500 subs. So I think the exponential growth is coming very, very soon. So appreciate all the day one supporters, guys. See you on the next video, and let's run it up.